When we imagine vacationing during the Gilded Age, we might picture the palaces of Newport, but some elites craved a more rustic lifestyle. Hi everyone, Ken here. Welcome to This House. Today we head off to Jekyll Island, Georgia to explore the Rockefellers Rustic cottage. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss a fascinating episode of This House. William Rockefeller was one of the wealthiest Americans to ever live. He co-founded the Standard Oil Company with his brother, John D. Rockefeller, who is still widely believed to have been the wealthiest American of all time. William went on to build luxurious mansions, some of which we have covered in previous videos, such as Rockwood Hall, which will be linked down below in the video description. As he and his wife, Elmira, approached their golden years together, the couple grew tired of the never-ending societal pressure to have the fanciest homes, the most expensive clothing, and the most lavish of parties. They searched for an escape where they could live a simple life around like-minded people. That's when they headed down to Jekyll Island, Georgia, where a small group of millionaires had established an enclave of rustic, more comfortable homes. Instead of building marble palaces in the likeness of Newport, they built shingle-style and Queen Anne-style homes. In place of stuffy ballrooms which required three-piece suits and corsets, large verandas welcomed bare feet. This was exactly the lifestyle the Rockefellers had longed for. In 1905, they purchased the former home of Gordon Mackay, a successful businessman who had constructed a shingle-style house which he had named Indian Mound, believing that he had built his home over a native burial mound. More about that later. The Rockefellers were quick to renovate the house to accommodate their large family, including space for their 17 grandchildren to visit. They updated the home to the Queen Anne style, being careful not to create anything ostentatious. Covered porches were added all the way around the house to allow the family to connect with the natural beauty which surrounded it. Even though conveniences such as electricity were becoming increasingly popular at the time, they chose to remain off the grid, using gas lamps for lighting and coal to heat their stoves. The interior, while classically styled, was not to be overbearing, with comfortable proportions meant to facilitate family activities instead of entertaining friends. As we can see in the floor plan, the house was laid out like a typical middle-class house of the time, with only a very small kitchen. The Rockefellers did not have to rely on an army of servants to keep the house running. They could share an intimate meal together, or ride their bicycles down to the country club for a bite to eat. Being of such stature, they still were not able to shake their social responsibilities. Instead of placing their fancy attire in storage or sending staff to fetch their wardrobes from New York, Elmira had a dumbwaiter installed so she could hoist her luggage upstairs with ease. Regarding the second floor, both William and Elmira had their own bedrooms, as was common for the Victorian era. While Elmira's was larger, William had a private porch where he could smoke cigars before calling it a night. The couple enjoyed wintering in the house for the rest of their lives, passing it on to the next generation of Rockefellers. With the passing of their estate, Elmira departed wisdom in a letter to their daughter Emma. Do not wear yourself out over entertaining. It is not worthwhile. All this rush of entertaining is nonsense. These words came from a lady who wore necklaces which were more expensive than skyscrapers, who competed with the Astors and Vanderbilts in her earlier years, who had palaces with marble halls, all of which she gladly traded for more one-on-one time with her family. By 1947, the world had changed. Jekyll Island was no longer the quaint retreat it once was, and the heirs sold the home. Later on, archaeological excavations were carried out to investigate the claims that the house had been built on a burial mound, only to find out that it had been built on a shell midden, essentially an ancient landfill full of food waste and human excrement. In present day, the house has been restored and open to the public as a house museum. If you have ever visited, I would love to hear about your experience down below in the comments section. And while you're there, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a fascinating episode of This House. I would also like to take a moment to say a very special thank you to our This House supporters whose names you can see on screen right now. If you would like to see your name on the screen and show the world your support for the production of these videos, join our membership program today. I'll see you next time on This House.